Nebojša je potvrdio nešto čemu smo mi svi svedočili prošle godine, a to je taj rast i neke brojne i uspešne priče koje se dešavaju u našem inovacionom ekosistemu. Ali gde se mi pozicioniramo na globalnoj mapi i gde smo napravili najveći napredak, reći će nam naš Kosta Andrić iz ICT Hub-a.
Can you hear me? Oh, good. Dobar dan, hello. I will switch on English now. Thank you, Alexander and Nebojša, but I would also like to thank both projects and both teams from Digital Serbia Initiative and ICT Hub for getting us together, but everybody who has organized even a meetup know how hard it is to organize such a big conference. So yeah, I'm going to be this boring guide with slides and graphs and kind of reporting you what's happening with the Global Innovation Index report, but before that, I would like to share one impression. Coming here today in Dom Sindikata, I still call it Dom Sindikata, it felt like maybe entering a fast train. So everything was on time, fast, people looked quite professional, everybody know what he's doing, but also people tend to say that we live in the times which are like a very fast train. Unfortunately for the region, not only Serbia, but for the region, for so many times, if we envision this train as a digital economy, this train didn't stop, at our place, at our economy, or at our society. And today, however you call it, Industry 4.0, 5.0, I think it's a unique opportunity that at least this time, this train either stops in our country or we manage to kind of jump into it. It has to be a big leap, and it happens once in a while. Happily for us, we live in the age when we can actually jump into this train. Not to sound too optimistic, but it's hard for us to lead the train, but we can be that passenger which knows where he's going and what is his agenda. But to jump in that train, it takes a lot of motivation. It takes a great incentives. It takes something which can actually drive us. And the good question would be, what drives us people in Serbia but across the Balkans? And if you ask our journalist, writer, Momo Kapor, and if you read his book, which I recommend that all of our guests will give them as a gift, A Guide to Serbian Mentality, he would say there basically one thing driving another, and that's inat on Serbia, Turkish word, Turkish roots, in spite of. Very hard to explain, very hard to envision, but it has both positive and negative aspects of it. I would say negative is the one when you do something and you know it's going to harm you, but you're just going to do it just to prove something to yourself or to others or just to be stubborn. Luckily for us, there are positive sides of INAT. That's when we say, in spite of this or not having this, or everybody told me I cannot do this, I'm actually going to do this, which is great for entrepreneurship and for innovation. What is characteristic for Serbia and Balkans is that we gather around this in spite of, and then we form as a group, as a team. This is best maybe for us to recognize, if not within ourselves. Maybe somebody would not agree, it's a kind of maybe a stereotype. But you know that in many statements, Djokovic would say, crowd booed me, this and that, but this kind of, in spite of this, I'm going to show you. Just recently, there was a World Basketball Championship, and who wants to be fair, nobody or a very few people watched the first matches. Why? Because we said the best player in the world is not playing. We have a coach which is not up to date. Kalinic is not playing. Mičić, who knows who is not playing. But then this group of people, in spite of all odds or in spite of not having a trust even in its own nation, managed to succeed. And especially this guy who is throughout his career and saying it publicly, he said like, in spite of, and recently I was in Čačak, Alexa Avramovic's place where he was born, and his coach, his associate said that when he was actually leaving, that only a couple of friends were like, hey, good luck with the championship, and now the whole city was there to kind of celebrate. So yeah, this kind of mentality, in spite of circumstances, we can achieve. To get back on the innovation ecosystem, and we can probably looking as a sport because we do compete with other economies. But what kind of mentality drives our innovation ecosystem? And with this question, with the help of investor and Professor Ivanović, who helped me to crunch this data, we dive in the Global Innovation Index report for 2023, actually looking at the previous year, in a very short period of time to maybe share some of the insights. For those who are hearing for the first time, the Global Innovation Index is done by the World Intellectual Property Organization. More than 100 countries are members. Most of the countries would use this report not only just to think about it, but also to create concrete policies and measures. Methodology, in very short, I will try to keep it very simple. They have 7 domains. 5 domains are inputs, so preconditions that we can have business, economic, and other results. And we are making some significant progress in those ones. And the 2 other domains are outputs, results, where we are still kind of, and there is a reason for that, lacking behind. Is it perfect? Somebody asked me, I think, Mlađan from Innovation Fund, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. It has probably many flaws. Together with Naled, we wrote them letters, hey guys, you haven't noticed this or that, but basically they have their own methodology, they work it globally. So yeah, we do use it and try to learn something out of it. Why is this ranking important? Because countries, economies which are better ranked means that they have more competitive economy, they're higher in the value chains, they have more product-based economy, they have better income, they have better paid jobs, better working conditions. At the end of the day, I'm not sure if you saw it, but there is an index of happiness in the States. Countries which are better ranked in the Global Innovation Index tend to have more happier population. And at least for me, what is important, and I'm so happy to see that there is a Latvia startup crew here, is that we want more people to come actually to Serbia and hopefully to stay. Some of the global changes, I would say nothing which could surprise us in just a year time period, but yeah, of course you heard that automation, AI, it's a huge trend, but also I would say in a medtech, nanotech, biotechnology, we're seeing advancement, and it's a great thing that we're going to have a Bio4 campus in years from now here in Serbia. Maybe 2 interesting facts. We are 2 years away that the cost of the battery for electric cars will be around $100, which will make the cars more cheaper. That's something which came up, and this with a genome sequencing cost, which is crucial for the medicine innovation breakthrough. 20 years ago, it took several millions just to do one survey. Now it's a couple of thousands of dollars. So basic innovation happens when you have a market, when you have disruptive technology, which is not that expensive. In terms of ranking, who is who, everybody wants to see who is on the top of the chart. It's Switzerland for who knows how many times, because throughout all the indicators and domains, they are performing nicely. Sweden took the 2nd place from the United States, but the United States are still keeping 13 out of 80 indicators as the top. At the kickoff, at the presentation, I was present there of the Global Innovation Index. Panelists did say that there are huge macro geopolitical changes happening. Of course, we all see that, read about it. On the terms of the innovation, it's for the first time that China, as the first middle-income country, has entered the top 30, which is also interesting. And as I heard from our Web3 community, also what we see here from the slides, countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar are investing a lot and attracting both talents and innovations. Getting back to our yard, our innovation ecosystem, Nebojša and Aleksandar talk a bit about it. Basically, you can imagine it as a circle of different stakeholders interacting. Interaction is of a huge importance. It's very important we have this density. That's why even today we have here startups, entrepreneurs, corporates, investors, institutions, which is all important. And me as somebody who is involved in the ecosystem for 9 years, I can say that we are at the record high. What does that mean, record high, and is there some value in it? That means that, as Nebojša said, over 500 startups in our databases, not enough, but still many new funds being created here, private ones, which is great. Government institutions through Innovation Fund who has, I know, 7, 8 mechanisms of giving grant money to people who are just beginning, 4 science and technology parks. If you haven't been, I highly recommend that you visit Novi Pazar. It's amazing what the team is doing over there. The regional center is also being formed. At least 8 multinational corporations with designated teams, people, funds, resources to engage with the external community. So this is all, as I said, record high, and which leads us that we moved a bit on the ranking for 2 positions. But if we measure our success only by the stop where we were before, that's not getting us anywhere. So we did make some comparison with both Balkan countries and the countries we're neighboring with. So you can see that we are, at least Serbia is a kind of in the middle. And what is positive about in comparison to the last year report, people from World Intellectual Property Organization did so that we did a good job with the infrastructure, that we did a good job with, I would say, business enabling environment, that we did a good job with different mechanisms through innovation funds. So this all gave a great percentage of leveraging the good results coming from the institutions. That's the input part. Secondly, a couple of universities, both private and state, introduced some interesting curricula. There is some activity, which is a kind of a pain point of our ecosystem. How do we transfer technology from universities to private sector? How do we make spin-offs, however you want to call them? It's a kind of a weak spot, but we did make a progress. Business sophistication, and I'm happy to have very smart speakers after me, maybe touching this point as well. We still suck at sales. It's a very, very direct message. I can put it in more diplomatic language. We don't know go-to-market, we don't have a strategy, we don't have connections network. But deep diving, there is something still isolated in our minds that we don't either travel a lot, or we are shy, or we are... so there is still something in comparison with even other neighboring countries. I don't know, they teach them at schools, something's happening differently, but everything on the business skills, on business side is still kind of a pain point. Outputs, outputs would be results. I had a hard question last night. We have a guest from Germany here today. He asked me, like, Kosta, tell me what are the hot startups now in Serbia? And I started talking, and he told me what are the kind of high growth, scalable already on a foreign market startups, profitable, doing great, over 100 people. So I did try to refer to Branko, but Branko and Nordeus, they kind of exited or merged, whatever happened. So we used to refer to Nordeus or some other great companies a few years ago, but now I had to say tenderly. And I said, most of the other companies are actually in very early stage, most vulnerable stage where you need support. And that's why it's great that we have so many centers and hubs throughout the world. So basically the outputs and results are about to show up. When we fill in the gaps with the inputs, we have to wait for the outputs for a couple of years. It also goes for creative outputs. It means, like, how many disruptive innovations do you have within the economy? It's still something which we actually have to wait. Can we do better? At the presentation of the Global Innovation Index report this year, there was a side panel of middle-income countries, and there was a great question coming from Croatia, and one of the experts who gave us kind of recommendations said that countries, regions which are up to 20 million of citizens have to have this focus. It's not enough that we just follow the trend, such an AI, but we have to anticipate what is going to be maybe the next technology and to be brave to make this big bet. They say that is the only chance for us to jump into this fast train, which is kind of hopefully not just passing by. So my question for you today, and maybe to see in the years or months to come, do we as a innovation community have this drive, can we say, like, in spite of living here, or in spite of this context, or in spite of the history, or in spite of, and we can complain, we can prove that we can make a much larger growth, because it's not going to be enough for us to kind of get close to neighboring countries. We have to speed up if we want to see the real value and the impact on our society, such as countries which are better ranked than us. Then again, why, for me, why SPLET, why community, why do we interact, why do we network? Because at the end of the day, end of this list, it says that we're going to be more happier, more independent, having more better lives, I would say. Thank you, and I really enjoyed this event, and hopefully to interact you throughout the day.